What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today is May the 16th. Happy Friday, everyone. I want to give you a quick pre-market update, go over some of the hot movers and what big money is doing today. Before I get into any of that, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. Starting off with data points, roughly 15 minutes from now, you have the building permits and starts. I don't really see that moving the market all too much. Rather, this one right here at 9 a.m., Michigan consumer sentiment, that one will really move the market depending on the results. Forecast of 52.5, consensus of 53.4. Over the last 5 occurrences, it's all been relatively negative. So you might see some people start talking about inflation and whatever else, but futures are looking pretty good. Dow is up 0.38, S&P up 0.37, NASDAQ up 0.45. A lot of that is stemming from companies having some very positive earnings. Aside from that, though, you have the fear and greed index. If that data point is positive, anticipate it to jump to the extreme greed category, meaning people's appetite for risk will increase. Moving on, SoFi, it is up slightly, or a little bit more than slightly, 1.4%. So it is just piggybacking off the broader market. No news from them, no SEC filings or anything along those lines. Shorts, so they've kind of been, I don't know, they've been going back and forth. They don't really know what to do, I think, with SoFi and many other stocks as well. I think just the market's been going a lot higher than they and maybe some individuals have would have thought, but 13.52% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 146.87 million shares. Anticipate them to be fairly active because we've seen in the past when it comes to Fridays and the open interest, they get a little bit more active. So you have 17,000 at that 1350, 37,000 at that 14, and then 31,000 at that 1450. So things could get very real very fast for SoFi, but a couple of things to watch for with it right now at 1376, just kind of stuck in limbo between this R1 and the pivot. So 1413 is going to be that next strong kind of target. It might potentially touch dependent on that data point. I think that's the only circumstance I see that being touched, but 1187 definitely won't be touched today, and then 1552 is going to be the following kind of target slash resistance. UnitedHealth has been having a very nice rebound. It is up 3.13%, getting a lot of big institutions buying, and I think I think all of this has been speculative, but Wall Street Journal did come out, said that they are being kind of investigated for fraud. That's what really escalated the pullback yesterday. But at the end of the day, I think that has come out to be fugazi, fake. So there should be a fairly nice recovery, in my opinion. I think there's still some hesitation, but there should be a nice recovery to at least that $310 to $315 range. So let me know your viewpoint on that. Not heavily shorted, so 0.97% of the free float's being shorted, which one thing I do find very weird, which kind of does go to show and proves the fact that there isn't fraud, is because shorts, whenever you have kind of rumors like that, they absolutely love to double down, but they actually returned a significant amount. So insinuating that it was just all fugazi, in my opinion. But right now with that 283, trading between this S2 and this S3, so 267 will be a strong support, and then 346 is going to be the next strong target slash resistance. So don't anticipate at least that 346 to be touched today. But AMST, kick-ass earnings, it is up 81.7%. Not heavily shorted, and shorts are actually returning roughly around 3,000 shares this morning, making up about 7% of the free float, or of the percentage that's being shorted. 34,000 shares overall are being shorted. So this definitely is in a squeeze play, and it looks as though that shorts are not doubling down. They are rather just returning. But even aside from that, like, shorts aren't really in the day-to-day of this stock. So just let me know your thoughts on that. With it right now at 408, though, it is trading between this pivot and this S1. So 257 will be a strong support, and then 426 is going to be the next strong target slash resistance. Moving on, Virgin did have their earnings, and they had a little bit of a positive revenue boost. So that's was always a good thing. Markets are really appreciating that. They also did reconfirm that they are on track for 2026. So yeah, things seem to be still plugging along, even though they are down 84.2% over the last 1 year. Absolutely brutal, but definitely it's getting a lot of volume, and they had some pretty good earnings, relatively good earnings, better than the kind of lower bar ones that they did have. But as far as shorts, definitely shorts will be fairly active today. So 28.18% of the free floats being shorted works out to be 11.05 million shares. So anticipate them to be fairly active. Right now with it at 382, it is trading between this R3 and this R2. So 364 is going to be a strong support, followed by 327, and then 456 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. I'm sure some people are wondering, is this a squeeze play? And I feel that if they would have had some other new positive surprises, then this would have had a nice squeeze. But I think their earnings were the bar was set so low for them that by them beating, it's causing it to go up slightly, but still, beside the point, it wasn't good earnings. So I don't see this being a squeeze play whatsoever. And then last but not least is ticker TSSI. It is up 48.25% because of good earnings. 17.78% of the free floats being shorted works out to be 2.6 million shares. It looks as though that shorts did feel that it was going to be a flop, and this is why they've been really doubling down, going from about 13 to where it is now, 17% short interest. So shorts should be fairly active and maybe even returning some. With it at 13 and change, it is trading between this R1 and the pivot. So 1386 will be that key point to get over. And in my opinion, if it is able to get above that, given just the optimism in the broader market, and possibly with the Michigan consumer sentiment coming in positive, you could see that $16 being touched. So let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon and get buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, many of which have been absolutely on point and bangers. So definitely worthwhile to pop over there and check it out. But with all that, appreciate all of you watching.